When last we left off, Oliver had taken care of the raiders at the Corvegia factory in a uprising against the raiders who have made life a lot more dangerous in the Commonwealth. And those shots signal perhaps a change in the Commonwealth itself. And now he needs to return and tell them that one problem is taken care of, but there are still many more raiders and ghouls out in the world. Lexington certainly has taken a beating over the years after the war, although quite a few buildings still stand, so they may provide as much places to gather resources as Concord, perhaps even more. There might still be more raiders within the town itself. There was a terminal that mentioned one of the raiders found a nice apartment. And the raiders were mentioning running into ghouls frequently inside Lexington itself. I ran into around 6 of them while getting to the factory. So I just need to get these supplies back to Sanctuary Hills. It's amazing how the world got to this point when you think about it. In this world, there was the resource wars, which encompasses quite a few wars out there, actually. It wasn't just the Sino-American War. That being one of the more well-known wars. China invaded Alaska, and that invasion took 10 years to actually remove the Chinese troops from Alaska. that removal taking place right before, or the same year as at the beginning of the year, in 2077. But you also have the war between the European Commonwealth and the Middle East. You got that war going on. And that was to secure oil and to perhaps stabilize the whole region, since there was a nuclear exchange in the Middle East early on in the resource wars. And the resource wars themselves began in 2052. And that was in response to higher oil costs from oil prices from the Middle East. And the Alaskan invasion was in 2066. Excuse me. But that doesn't mean that there wasn't a lot of things going on before then as well. You also have the American invasion of Mexico in 2051, and that was in response to many of the things going on in North America. Oops. I was way too close to that. I didn't even notice that bomb till it was too late. That means more walking. At any rate, explain it. The United States of America sort of goes through a vast change in this world, and what ends up happening is, in order to make the country more efficient, the United States turns from a series of states into a series of commonwealths. 13 commonwealths to be exact. And from then on, it's mostly known as the American Commonwealths. And many of them break apart in interesting ways. The Colombian Commonwealth, which is Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, is one of them. And the next one is the southeast one, which is North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. The Gulf one is Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. And Texas is Kansas and Texas. The four states one is Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico. And that's where New Vegas takes place in. Well, part of New Vegas also takes place in the Southwest Commonwealth as well. There are many signs still out there which show the states, but they really ceased thinking of themselves as states long before the war. There's also the Southwest, which is Southern California and Southern California and Nevada. That Southern California and Nevada is where New Vegas takes place. Sorry, it takes place there, not in 4 states. 4 states is where Caesar's legion has a lot of its power. The Northwest is Northern California, Oregon, Washington, and Alaska, and Idaho. Then the Northern Commonwealth is Montana, Wyoming. No, yeah, Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, and South Dakota. And the Plains one is smack dab in the middle. It's Nebraska. No, I thought Kansas was Texas. Texas is Arkansas. Easy to mix those two up, I guess. The Plains one is Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, Missouri, and Oklahoma. Midwest is Michigan, at least keep an eye on this. I'm looking at a map of it. Yeah, Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, and that's it, Michigan. The New England, I'll do the Eastern one last. New England one is Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island and Connecticut. And the Eastern is West Virginia, Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York. And this game right here, this one takes place in Massachusetts, which is often called in the Fallout universe the Commonwealth. Although, as I said, I've been talking about it's slightly misleading for quite some time now. That this, long before the resource wars, the states no longer thought of themselves as states any longer. Anyway, that's where the Commonwealth thing comes from. And because of instability in 2051, Mexico is invaded by the United States in this world. And this in part is to also get at the oil there. Many of the cars in this world are run by nuclear fuel, but that's not necessarily always the case. And there's mention in Fallout 1 of cars that were abandoned. And this was before the nuclear war as well. This is when the outbreak of the disease. There's a disease outbreak actually before the nuclear war, and many of the cars were abandoned because they no longer had the gas to actually power them. I'm not sure if that was retconned with Fallout 3, but there's a chance of it. Anyway, back to the resource wars. Resource wars started in 2052 and ended in 2077 with the Great War, or the Great Nuclear War. And there's three really big parts of it: the Sino-American War, the European Commonwealth, Middle East War, and the European Civil War. And also in 2052, there's the nuclear exchange in 2052, and also in 2054, it's the nuclear exchange. And 2054 one is when the Project Safe House got into play, and that leads to the vaults. Project Safe House was the enclave in basically the United States name for it. And there's quite a few other changes as well. There's also the annexation of Canada in 2076. And that mostly took place because of the difficulty in getting troops from mainland Commonwealth, the American Commonwealth, into Alaska. especially for the final push to actually remove the Chinese from American soil. So what ended up happening in 2076 is the American Commonwealth invades and annexes Canada. But this is also not much is really done in Canada to actually integrate them before the Great War happens. And that just is a refresher of the state of the world as it was, and as his character would have been aware of before he went into hibernation. So even before the Great War was around. Over 20 years worth of wars going on across the globe. And the Great War just ended them all at once. And the thing is, it really wasn't a surprise either. And Project Safe House was basically the government and later on basically the enclaves' admission that nuclear war would happen. And that most people around the globe would not survive this nuclear war or this nuclear exchange. The Enclave has been in the picture since really their presence is sort of felt in 1, but they're not really part of it from Fallout 2 and on. But the events of Fallout 2 broke them in the west, and the events of Fallout 3 breaks them in the east. And the whole reason why they ended up surviving is right before the war they ended up taking refuge in multiple secret bases they built as a side part of Project Safe House. There were a number, not all the vaults were dedicated to some strange scientific experiment. There were a number of them that were I guess you could say those vaults were built for the intended purpose of actually keeping the people inside of it alive. although most of them weren't. Well, they were built to keep them alive in terms of the experiment, depending upon the experiment. There's one vault in the west that was meant to never actually work, and the door to that vault failed on the impact of the bombs, and that became the necropolis. Basically everyone inside of it was irradiated. And that was in Bakersfield, California, I believe, in Fallout 1. Or the location suggests Bakersville. Some of the vaults were purpose-built as well, such as the vault that held Von Braun in Fallout 3. But likewise, there weren't many of those as well.
Huh?
Okay, and almost back. So I hope that tutorial, and well, that tutorial, but that explanation of the events before the war is somewhat helpful. And at least pass the time while I was walking. Of the events after the Great War, there's only one of them that I'm not completely 100% certain of, and that is the existence of Vault Zero, which was meant to be a vault basically to control all the other vaults. That one I don't know if it's fully canon, but part of Fallout Tactics is considered canon. But I think that might just extend to the fact that the Brotherhood moved east, or a fraction of the Brotherhood moved east. Which explains why the Brotherhood in Fallout 3 is very different than the Brotherhood in New Vegas and also in Fallout 1 and 2. In fact, other than Fallout 3, the Brotherhood really isn't to be trusted, to be honest. They tend to have the belief that advancement should be stifled. Now I'm just figuring out what I should leave here for now. 45. I'll keep the rifle. As I get more into this, I'll probably sell a lot of this stuff. But for now, I just need to put it right here. Much better. So now I need to, and there's a storm brewing, to inform the people at the other settlement that it should be safe by now. Although, I do need to heal up before I go. Then I'll search a little bit later. For now, I need to make sure the settlement's okay. Over here. Okay, mongrels are down. But I wasn't able to get here in time to help out this... Oh, a raider. Okay, I don't feel as bad now. I thought they might have been scavengers of some type or another. Interesting. The building. I'll come back to it. Again, priority. It's about right here. So they have a makeshift road leading to the place.
Hey.
You find those raiders?
Yeah, I took care of them.
No kidding? That's the best piece of news we've had around here for a good long time. So we've been talking. We decided if you came through for us, we'd join up with the Minutemen again. If we want things to get better, we've got to start helping each other. So, we're in. You can count on us if you need help down the line. Thanks again, friend.
Let's see what we have here. No defenses. They got quite a few food, and they got enough water. Okay. This will help if somebody tries to raid the place. Close enough. I'll provide cover. Deterrence, I'm gonna need steel, circuitry, gear, and oil. I'm not gonna find that here. Okay, so I'm gonna need to bring those supplies back here. Steel, circuitry, gear, and oil. Got one gear with me. Okay, I'll be back with those defenses. Which means everything else is on hold until I get that settlement to where they can defend themselves. Traveling along the railway may be safer than the roads. I have to keep that in mind. Hold on.
You're not replacing me. Oh God, it's gonna kill me. No more from you. You're not replacing me. You can't do this. Anyone, please, help! Please, you gotta help me. This guy's a synth, and he's gonna kill me and replace me and my family. Oh God, my kids. Don't you dare bring them up. He's the synth, and he wants to replace me. Please, please, you gotta believe me. You can't.
Okay, something's going on since. There's a synth or a robot in. Was that a synth? No, it could replicate
Can't let
human
that thing do this.
in Fallout 3.
Let's all just calm down. No one has to die.
No, he wants me dead. He's never gonna stop. I have to kill him. Don't listen to him. It'll say anything to convince you.
Why don't you just tell me how this happened?
How this, fine. I was on my way to Bunker Hill. I round a bend, and I see this guy. Me. Gun drawn, ready to fire. After that, it's a blur. We scuffled for a while, but I won. Now, I don't know what else I can say to convince you he's the synth. Now, are you gonna get out of my way?
Look, all I need is for you to put down the gun. Then we can talk this through.
No. No! You'll kill us both!
It's not gonna work. So either I killed him or take him down myself.
You know what? Just kill him.
What? No!
Something's odd.
It's done. I need to get out of here. God, I'm still shaking.
He was right.
Hey,
The Institute. They're monsters.
That was very risky what I did, but he was right. This guy is a sense component. So it looks like there's a lot more like the one from Fallout 3. And it looks like they might have upped their game a bit. Of course, that one from Fallout 3 was enough to fool the scientist on that sunken helicarrier in the Rivet City. He was able to stay hidden there for a time. But I do need to get those components now and get them back to Tenpines before that place is attacked by raiders or worse. Still, that is not exchange. The chance of him running into his synth should have been, or a robot basically built to replicate him, should be a lot more rare than that. Unless it was being hunted to actively replace him. But why? Seems like a waste of resources to do that. He didn't seem like anybody important other than just someone wandering around. That is curious.
You know that settlement you sent me to help? They've decided to join the Minutemen.
That's great news. I knew you were the right person for the job. By the way, you should have one of these flare guns. You can use it to signal for help from any nearby Minutemen. Not much use yet, but once we have more allied settlements, you'll have help whenever you need it. I guess you know I'm one of the last of the Minutemen. But I never really told you what happened to us.
Are you really the last Minuteman?
Maybe not literally. There must be a lot of former Minutemen out there who gave it up in disgust after the Quincy massacre. But we were the last active group of Minutemen. And now, well, it's just me.
What was the Quincy massacre?
I thought everyone in the Commonwealth knew about that by now. I was with Colonel Hollis's group. A mercenary group called the Gunners was attacking Quincy. The people there called for the Minutemen to help. We were the only ones that came. The other groups, they just turned their backs on us and the folks in Quincy. Only a few of us got out alive. Colonel Hollis was dead, so I ended up in charge of the survivors. We never found a safe place to settle. One disaster after another. You saw how it ended in Concord?
I know how it feels to be the last survivor.
Yeah, I guess you do. That's why I'm talking to you. I can't rebuild the Minutemen, but I think you can.
Why can't you lead the Minutemen?
That's not who I am. I can get my men through a firefight. I can defend a perimeter against all odds. But that's not going to be enough to bring the Minutemen back from the brink. We need someone who can bring the whole Commonwealth together in a common cause. And I think you've got it in you to be that leader.
Okay, I'll do it.
Good. Good.
That makes sense.
Welcome aboard.
The safer Commonwealth will help
I feel
me
like
look for
this is a whole
Shaun.
new start for the Minutemen and the Commonwealth too. Don't worry, I'll be right beside you all the way, General.
That's quite a promotion you just gave me.
The leader of the Minutemen has always held the rank of General. Our last leader was General Becker. After he died back in '82, nobody could agree on who should take his place. The one good thing about being the last Minuteman is there's no one to argue with me when I say you're the new general. Now it's your job to make it more than an empty title. I've gotten word about a settlement that's being threatened by raiders.
Although I wish he really wouldn't point with his gun.
I'll mark it on your map. We'll find out what they need. We can use more settlements supporting our cause.
Yeah, or quite the imagination.
Okay, I need to get the gears to get that other settlement up.
This here, okay, it's Cole Porter, I guess. That's fun.
Okay, need this for the gear and the steel. more gears. Definitely for the steel. For the steel. Hopefully I have enough steel by now. I need the oil. Need a lot more oil, I think. Still needs circuitry. Need that for the oil. Not too much. See if I can offload a few things.
Guess you've got your reasons, but that just looks like junk to me. What do you need, General?
I could use better armor. Now I've got to get back to that settlement. They're already in quite a bit of danger as it is. Metal right arm looks like it's rusted, so I see what he means by it. That bridge is not a good sign. It was built after the war, looking at the design of it. It's a storm again. I think I might be looking at another radiation storm. Yeah. Okay, these turrets should provide the defense they need. I'll place 3 of them. One of them up here. Okay, there we go. Dangerous as this thing is, it's kind of beautiful in a way. And very creepy. Okay, I'm gonna check that house I saw. Maybe take shelter there. If I can. It's off to my left, on the right of me. There it is. Someone's built this in the time afterwards using a flatbed. It's not a bad idea. I suppose it makes for Red Scorpion. A good framework for a house. Although it looks like it's been abandoned since then. What the? For the materials on hand, it's not that bad. Seems like it's out of the way. But that's probably for defense.
Look, man, I've been thinking about this for a long, long time. I know what I'm talking about here.
Bullshit. You can't just put something between 2 pieces of bread and claim it's a sandwich. Does that mean a loaf of bread is technically a bread sandwich?
Technically, yes, but you wouldn't eat it all at once like that, so it doesn't matter. How you hold it matters.
Talk all you want. You put that piece of mirelurk meat between 2 pieces of bread, but it still ain't a sandwich.
Well, what the hell would you call it then?
Disgusting. That's what.
I can't see what these have to say. See, hopefully they're not too jumpy.
Yeah? Huh?
Yes?
Not too talkative. Okay. Can't blame him. So that settlement's secure. I'm going to see what resources are in Lexington to see if I can get something else to help out. But I'll have to drop off the supplies I didn't use at Sanctuary Hills. Better get rid of this guy. A building here? This is a framework for a building. Don't think I was blown there. No roads leading to it. Wild corn will help. Oh shoot. I have to remember, pretty much everything in this game wants to kill you. There's Concord, so I should be able to drop off the supplies I didn't use. There. Well, back at Sanctuary Hill. Next is to head to Lexington itself to start exploring that town to look for supplies that the settlements will need. I used up quite a bit securing that other settlement, and I'm going to need a lot more. That might be the key to actually keeping these people alive and making the place more secure for my search. More settlements means some more supplies to help keep me alive, and of course more secure areas. Places I can retreat to if I'm injured. And this place is already dangerous enough as it is. So, anything I can do to bring more stability would be better. I'm going to search Lexington first, and then I'm going to go back to search out that, I think it's a marble extraction area. That's what it appeared to be, to me at least. I'll just keep an eye on these settlements while I move forward. And secure it one town at a time. Rushing forward right now, I think it probably wouldn't last too long. Even though I'm doing fine here, there's no telling what I'll run into later on. There's a mine up here. Okay, and there's Lexington again.